This is an Indian Scout Bobber. It's a cruiser bike. This is one of the bikes that if you're riding this, you're just automatically cool.
Mine is the exact opposite. Mine is the not cool bike. Mine is a 2017 Honda Africa Twin. If you want to go see Africa and explore South America, that's the bike that you pick.
Still a cool bike.
I agree completely. My yoga mat goes with me everywhere.
I love my students out at Buckley. Gosh, they're so amazing. I get pretty consistent people. I got active duty, I got retirees, I got spouses. And we've got a really good community out there. It's usually the same 6-ish people.
So I teach a regular class on Friday evenings at Zenith Authentic Jiu-Jitsu, and I love the veterans, police officers, first responders that come into the class. I love giving them the opportunity to just relax and enjoy the moment, and that time in particular. The ways that yoga benefits veterans is more ways than are able to be counted. Everything from physical manifestations, from lowering of blood pressure and relaxation, and the things it does for those with things like head injuries and improved balance for those of us that have traumatic brain injuries.
Also the nervous system balancing you get out of it with the vagus nerves.
I recognize that I look like a grumpy old vet, and I smoke cigars, I ride motorcycles, I've got a big fuzzy ugly beard, and I smell like aqua velva and cigars. I get that. However, I can do a little bit of yoga too, and I can enjoy a little bit of Warrior too.
I had been doing yoga for 18 plus years now. I don't think anybody would recognize me and think I'm a yogi. It's kind of a breath of fresh air to people, I think, when they see that, wait, he's older, he's got a long beard, he rides a pretty cool motorcycle, and he's a yogi. And then they find out I've been practicing as long as I have. I think they go, oh, because I am not the person you see on Instagram. I can't even do some of the poses that people on Instagram can do, and I don't really care. Yoga helps me stay in a little bit better shape than I probably would otherwise. I am more patient, less anxious. I actually think yoga allows me to be a better father.
Born and raised in a little town called Southbury, Connecticut. It's right on the New York border. Couldn't wait to get out of there. Dropped out of high school, joined the Army. First duty station they sent us to was Baumholder, Germany. Went to the Army's flight medic program, became a flight medic, and went to Iraq in 03-04 as a flight paramedic. We retired here in Colorado. My wife of 27 years and my 2 children.
I'm a motorcycle rider, scuba diver, yoga teacher. I have 2 teenage children and 1 adult child. I'm a computer programmer during the day. I spent 10 years in the US Navy, and then I got out in '96. So I served primarily during the Cold War. When people think of yoga, they think of Lululemon, yoga leggings. That's not the people we serve, and that's not really who's getting the most benefit out of yoga. If you are a veteran and you want to go to a yoga class, that if you look at a commercial yoga studio, you're gonna be like, okay, these guys can do things I can't do. They're all young, extremely fit, and it's treated as more like an exercise regime. Whereas at Comeback, I think we kind of flipped the script on that. And it's not so much about the exercise as it is much about the changes that happen to your body, both in your nervous system, your breath, in ways that you might not get in a normal class. Having a veteran teach you, I think it makes them comfortable to know that you are one of them. You have similar experiences to them of being away from your family, of having gone through this or other things, and then they can relate to you, and it opens up a conversation.
The transition from service in the military to civilian is far and away the most challenging time in a service member's life. For most of us, we join the military at age 17 or 18, and someone gives you a hat and says you're a soldier, you're a seaman, you're an airman now. And that gives you a sense of identity and a sense of purpose, and you have a common goal: defend our nation's interests. You spend your time in, you do your 4 years, 10 years, 20 years, whatever it may be, and then someone hands you a sheet of paper, a DD-214, you exit the military, and you no longer have that identity. And it becomes extremely challenging. And that loss of identity is very, very challenging for service members. It was for me. My wife and I struggled. I was unprepared for that. I thought we were going to be okay. And when I reached out to explain that to my friends with Comeback Yoga, they actually came and coalesced around and were extremely supportive throughout my marital struggles. Combined that with the tools that I was given through Comeback Yoga, including intentional breathing, grounding, linking my movement with my breathing, putting all of that together along with the community of my fellow yoga practitioners is what allowed me to get myself through that situation. And now my marriage is thriving.
I think it's very important for people to understand that we're not really just teaching people yoga classes. Comeback Yoga is their family sometimes.
If you think about the things that our nation's service members have done and the things that they have gone through, missed birthdays, missed Christmases, missed Thanksgivings, that are essentially unrecognized. Excuse me, I get a little emotional when we start talking about things like this. The least that I can do is step forward for an hour and talk you through a few breathing techniques, a few movements. It's literally the least that I can do for the things that you have given up for our nation.
In a lot of our classes, this is the contact that people get all week, right? They get to come to us. They know that they're going to be taught by someone who values them individually, and they'll be part of our community.
Breathing, grounding, relaxation techniques, ways to deal with that post-traumatic stress that are better than medication, drinking, violence, or worse things such as taking one's own life. We need more teachers. We need to expand it. We need our community to come alongside of us and support the veteran community.
There are very few organizations who are trying to help veterans integrate their experiences from war or the military or trauma or traumatic brain injury and integrate them so they can proceed with their daily lives. And I think that's what we're trying to do with Comeback, and I think that's a very important thing to support.
I firmly believe that things like that, specifically Comeback Yoga, is saving lives. And I know for a fact that it has saved my life.